Before arriving at the block factory, bamboo stalks are broken down into slats, which are pre-dried to 20% moisture content or less. The bamboo slats are naturally light in color as seen here, and in order to make the caramelized color, the slats must be first exposed to a steam treatment that tints the fibers prior to their initial drying. At the factory, the slats are further dried to 10% moisture content or less. Following drying of the bundled slats, the bundles are placed into and secured into a steel cage. This cage, when full, will be dipped into a vat of low viscosity phenolic resin. The bamboo remains in the continuously circulated vat of resin for 15 minutes to allow the resin to thoroughly infiltrate the bamboo. After a thorough soaking in the vat of resin, the bamboo slats are removed from the vat and allowed to drip dry for 24 hours prior to being oven dried. Slat bundles are broken open and the slats spread out on a moving conveyor chain to allow for complete drying as they pass through a forced air dryer operating at approximately 185 degrees Fahrenheit. Once dried, the resin impregnated slats are bundled and then ready for transport to the block press. The slats are routinely checked to ensure proper moisture content prior to leaving the drying area. Batches of bamboo slats that will be formed into a block are first weighed to ensure that the correct amount of material is put into every block. Weighted batches of bamboo slats are placed into a trough before being pushed into a press and a block mold. In this case, you can see the two colors of slats are being used to produce the tigerwood product. Once the slats are pushed into the press, one of the operators places a piece of 3/16 steel plate over the top of the bamboo prior to the press closing. Once the press is fully closed and the bamboo slats are fully compressed into the block mold that's contained in the press, a number of steel pins are inserted through the mold just above the steel plate that is in place on top of the fibers. These pins are used to hold down the plate that was placed on top of the slats and actually makes up the fourth side of the mold. This is done so that once the press opens, the mold and the uncured bamboo slats can be removed from the press. Once all pins are in place, the press is opened and the block mold containing the compressed fibers is removed from the press. It should be noted here that the bamboo slats, if they were too wet or if the density of the block were too low for some reason, the press would close quickly and easily. To check for these conditions, the operator watches a set of pressure gauges each time the pressure closes to ensure that the maximum pressure is achieved. The loaded block molds are then placed on a steel cart and placed inside of a forced air dryer for approximately 10 hours to cure the adhesive. Following curing, the blocks are placed under fans to begin their cooling, and after the blocks have cooled sufficiently, the pins are removed from the mold and the block is removed from the mold. Ends are then cut off, yielding a block that resembles a rail tie. Finally, after curing and trimming, the blocks are run through a series of quality checks. These completed blocks are now held on site for a minimum of 15 days prior to shipment, while the product performance tests are completed and the blocks come to a complete cure.